the situation. As therapists, we can show the way, but it is you, the family members, you are the ones who need to build your willpower to stay on the path. This is what essentially this webinar is all about. The willpower. How did the three families that are here this evening find the willpower to stay on the way that was shown to them? How did they carve their own paths? Autism, as we understand it, encompasses a broad spectrum of individuals, each with their own unique journey and set of challenges and wins. From those who are nonverbal, attending special schools, to those who have completed college and are now thriving in the workforce with support, to those who have received early intervention and are in mainstream education like any other child without any support whatsoever. Our panel represents this rich tapestry of experiences. Before introducing the panelists, allow me to introduce myself and our team, Communiverse India. I'm Deepa Bhatnagar, a speech and language pathologist who established Communiverse in Mumbai way back in 2003. Our affiliation with the Comdeal Trust Bangalore facilitated multidisciplinary group interventions that children with autism require. Over the years, we have grown to a 14-member team offering in-person and online services. I am particularly glad about our online service because they allow us to reach remote corners of India where there is a dearth of resources. Today, we also have an online presence in over 5 countries overseas. We started off in early intervention, but now we offer services across the lifespan from babies to young adults. Without further ado, I invite you to join me in welcoming our esteemed panelists. So before I move on, let me just admit a few people who are waiting. Seema Tiwari is the proud mother of 2. Nehal, who is with us this evening, and Vedika, who is studying in Manipal. Having done her MTech and MBA, Seema is a general manager in MTNL. She has written a book, Sangharsh, which talks about their journey with autism and is a beautiful read with much to learn. I have thoroughly enjoyed and learned a lot from this book. The book is available on Amazon, and I am told that an English translation will be available soon. I met Anupam, Nehal's father, when he walked into my office one day way back in 2003 and wanted to know about the Comdeal program that we had newly started then. Anupam says that he likes to be introduced always as Nehal's father. He's a general manager in corporate communications at HPCL. I'm delighted that today Anupam has joined this panel and will bring much needed a father's perspective.
Hi.
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 Welcome. Anupam and Seema's daughter Nehal is 25 years old. Nehal completed her graduation from St. Xavier's College, Mumbai. She works at Ernst & Young. She's an accomplished stone painting artist with many accolades under her belt. Nehal is fond of cooking. She's a remarkable young lady who will tell you more about herself later in this program. I'm pausing in between because I'm admitting people. Nehal joined us at 4 years of age and was with us for a year and a half, where she established her pre-learning skills, learned to socialize and function in groups, and built her communication skills. The Comdeal program believes and has seen that a strong foundation in the early pre-learning skills, such as eye contact, attention, awareness of the surroundings, ability to follow instructions, sensory and motor development, are very critical to early child development. A lot of research that is emerging over the last decade supports this understanding of autism. To the professionals here, we can have a separate discussion on that another day, but I just thought that I will touch upon this. So welcome to the Tiwari family. Yes. Our next panelist is Ms. Kajal Shetty.
Hi, thank you so much for having me on this platform.
Kajal is a mother of two. She's a preschool teacher with a keen desire to start her own school very soon. Kajal practices Buddhism as a way of life. Her son Atharva is 14 years old in class 12, Commerce at Cathedral and John Cannon School, Mumbai. Atharva was diagnosed with PDD-NOS when he was 2 years and 3 months. That's when he joined us at ComDeal and was with us for 3 years, after which he joined St. Mary's and ICS Board School and studied there up to class 10. He's passionate about football, a football striker and star player at his club FFA. He was nominated as a key performer in MSSA tournament when he was 12 years old. He's a huge food critic, loves music, and is a people's person. Atharva's father, Dheeraj, is a restaurateur. He's the one who dropped and picked Atharva from school and then brought him to Deal every day. Atharva was very fond of trains back then, and every Sunday, Dheeraj would take him on a train ride. Kajal says that the credit for inculcating and developing a love for football goes to Dheeraj. Finally, Priya. Priya is the proud mother of a 14-year-old Akshit. Priya, you want to say hi?
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, maybe you can. Yeah, thank you. I request the panelists to keep your videos on. Priya is an MBA graduate and an investment banker by profession. Akshit has severe autism with several sensory and motor challenges. He communicates through augmentative alternate communication means on the Avaz app. Akshit joined ComDeal program at 3 years of age and was with us for 2.5 years. During this time, Priya did the postgraduate diploma in early intervention from the ComDeal Trust, Bangalore. She worked with us as a parent coordinator for 3 years and from then on has been helping many families to understand their children in a better way. She's a volunteer at the Forum for Autism, which is a parent support group that does amazing work. Those parents who are looking to support, I would encourage you to connect with them. So she volunteers at Forum for Autism, the Navi Mumbai branch. Akshit's father is an engineer by profession. He works as a project manager for a German-based company for which he has to travel frequently. Let us now watch a few videos to see and understand the families that are going to be talking to us today. I see Pradeep Nigam has raised his hand. If you have something to say, please unmute. And, if you're having any housekeeping problems, if it's a question, we'll take it up later. Smriti, you can start the video. Smriti, are you there?
Yes, is it not showing on the screen?
No.
I'll just reshare it.
So just, yeah. So we are watching Nehal's video, the Tiwari family. That's the bush, Sangharsh, that Seema has written, Sangharsh. Next, we shall get to know Kajal and Atharva and Dheeraj a little better. And we now watch Priya and Akshit and Ram. So with that, I invite all the panelists and segue into my first question. Charlie, will you please mute, please? Thank you. So I start with the early days. I would like to start with Anupam and Seema. And this is a question for all of you. How was your child diagnosed? And more importantly, how did you break it to your family? That's something that many parents are wondering, how do we tell everybody about this? So, yeah, I've pinned you to the screen and let's start.
Hi, with Nehal, the diagnosis took a lot of time because we were at Indore, and that time the people were not aware about autism. But after diagnosis, we also took time to accept, yeah, she's different, she's having autism. And we was residing in a colony, so in the government colony, the quarters were quite touching each other. So Nehal got a point, if she will scream, then Mama and Papa will do whatever she wants, because we have not disclosed anybody, so we were also very scared. So that tool she got, and she started using it very often. And then finally we thought ki no, this way to nahi chalne wala hai. So we changed our house and we shifted to a building where only 4 quarters were there. And the first thing we did, we informed them that Nehal is having autism, and we explained to them what autism is. So after that, then we said, Nehal, this tool is not going to work. And slowly, thode din to unhone scream kiya, and then she thought ye to chal nahi raha, and then she stopped it. So for us, disclosing to family was easier because we have many doctors, but disclosing to our colony, to our society, to our office people, that took time.
Okay. Thank you. Is there anything you would like to add, Anupa?
I think Seema has covered it all. With family, we were very comfortable, and actually it helped us a lot because even like my father or Seema's parents, my parents, they were quite open for it. And because of, as Seema has said, a lot of doctors. So it gave us a lot of family support, which is required in the initial stages, because the term autism we heard for the first time, and it was very difficult for us to accept. But the family was with us, so it helped us in both the ways. We had intermittently somebody else which Nehal to whom Nehal looked forward to. Apart from these 2 cases, there is somebody else.
Yes.
It gave a little bit of change, plus their support in working with Nehal, because they took it very normally. Okay, no issues. So that helped us a lot.
And Deepa, the grandparents are very good in bribing.
Yeah.
And they get so many things done which hum log nahi kara pate. So it's always good to have grandparents with the child.
Yes. And I think all those helping hands are very required, like you said, especially in the early years. What was it like for you, Kajal?
Hi, I mean, the early diagnosis, or rather the detection, came from his preschool. When he was barely 2.2, 2.1, he was going to Casa Montessori. So there the teachers kind of noticed, like especially his class teacher and the principal, there is a little miss in this child as compared to the rest of his peers of the same age bracket, wherein there is no eye contact and hyperactive, and they would not be able to contain him in any activity, be it solo or in a group, for more than 5 to 7 minutes. And call out to his name, there is no response. There was a time when teacher asked, "Is your child deaf?" And as a mother, I would know, no, my child is not deaf. Then they said, then they kind of got to my notice, then there is a miss, you need to get some kind of an assessment done. So that's where when I approached ComDeal and the formal assessment was done that he was diagnosed with PDDNOS, pervasive developmental disorder, not otherwise specified. So the whole thing, yes, we kind of had to accept it. I mean, it was very hard for us as a family to accept there is a developmental issues, because I haven't seen something like this on both sides of my family. So, and me being the first time mom, my whole world was devastated. And Deepa made us realize the earlier you kind of accept the fact, the faster you work, the faster the desired result you will see in this child. So yeah, that was our thing. And breaking into family, no, I didn't. Initially, I didn't, because I didn't know how would I put it across and what would I explain to them, because my mom kept telling me, he's a boy, they always talk late, so you don't have to be bothered about his delayed speech. But my sister was a great support, and things eventually kind of unfolded in a positive way later.
Yeah, but I'm going to ask you a follow-up question here, Kajal, because
Yeah.
I know that many parents here, just like you, dealt with a lot of anxiety. I mean, your anxiety in the early years actually prevented you from thinking straight, if I'm not wrong, right?
Absolutely.
But you have traveled that journey and you have found the strength. It will be nice for this audience to know how you found that strength.
As I said, being a first-time mom and with this kind of a diagnosis, I was shattered and very, very anxious. But thanks to my husband, who was a pillar of support, he was always there by my side. And then coming in terms, so rather taking the problem or the devil by its horn and not kind of pushing it down under the carpet, that was the first strategy what we had to apply. And then, of course, my spiritual journey, which I'm going to talk about it later. So yes, I think, and a big thank you to my principal, if she's in this program right now, Nazneen Dubash, who kind of gave us that leeway where Atharva could attend the preschool for half a day, and the rest half the day, he would come to deal. So this was like the biggest boon and the benefit we had as a parents to see, because he could be with a regular peer, kind of observe them, learn little coping skills, what he had needed. And Deal, of course, gave us that lot of intervention program which needed the most.
Yeah, I think that was really nice that you got support from the school. That's the message that needs to go out, I feel, very strongly to educators. Today, I see many children getting admitted into school, whether they are ready or not. And sometimes if the support is not provided, I think things can go awry. So it's good that, you could get the support that you required.
Absolutely.
Yeah, with that, I turn the question to Priya. Priya, tell us how your early days were. How did you get the diagnosis, and how did you break it to your family?
So good evening, everyone. I, unlike the panelists, I was in a remote village wherein my husband was posted in a village of it's called Bhadrachalam in Andhra Pradesh, wherein we didn't have major medical facilities, wherein I was blamed for everything, saying, you didn't teach him to eat, you didn't teach him to speak. So this is what was happening around. And my mother somehow said that, why don't you come here and we'll get him checked. So I was always, I didn't expect anything major from the a checkup and all of that, but I said still I would give it a try because it was a doubt, and we had a family history too. So that's the reason I came to Mumbai without my husband. Anyways, he had a travel job, so I was the only one to go for the diagnosis with my dad. Dad was accompanying me, but he couldn't come in, so I was the one who dealt with it. So it was I was in a tremendous pain, because already from the society I had this, that you didn't teach him properly. You are responsible for his sleep schedule and all of that. And plus this diagnosis. So I didn't take it well. I didn't eat for 3-4 days. So now even my voice is shivering when I'm thinking of those days. So I was not in denial, but I was not accepting also. So I was moving into depression. My family, my mother and my dad were an immense support during that time. They created a happier environment around me, as if nothing had happened. So slowly I could actually come out of it and say, okay, now my child needs, I will marinate in this problem later. So I will do whatever is needed right now. So this is how, and I didn't break anything to any family or whatever. I didn't even break it to my husband. I was not in a state wherein my mother did all the work. I'm really blessed and to have my mother on board with me. So she was the one who did all the work while I was taking my time.
Yeah, thank you. I know that you have good support and it works both ways. You have also been supporting a lot. So yes, with that, I come to my next question. Again, we are continuing with the early days. What was your takeaway or insights from your time at Comdeal Communiverse? And I will start with the Tiwari family.
Actually, Deepa, if I recollect, I met you somewhere in 2003, and Nehal was in the first batch at Comdeal. It was very important that time, because the awareness that time was very less when it came to autism. So a course like this, which took care of a holistic 360-degree development of a child in terms of therapies, all the therapies, speech therapy, occupation, behavior, then in a group, everything what actually we desired for or we thought of was and one-to-one as well was given at that time. So it was like you were godsend for us, and it was and the kind of development, because that's what Nehal is today, and if we have been able to work with Nehal is all because of the exposure, all the activities, therapies plus group activity as well, because there were times when the therapies were one-to-one, so there she focused on the minor points or the therapies, and then in a group. So both the things were doing parallelly, which resulted in a holistic 360-degree development of Nehal. So
one more point, Anupam missed that. We all, as a parent, as a mother, we were involved there. Like, we were knowing what's going on with our child. So we were also doing the same things at home. So it was not closed door kind of therapy. So I never favored that kind of therapy. So whatever they were doing, we were also following the same pattern at home. So it held in overall good. And it was for 4.5 hours for 5 days a week. So, it was like a school for Nehal, where she learned everything. And as mothers, we formed a group and we gossiped, and we were so happy कि हम अकेले नहीं हैं. These all are with us. So that was very much required at that point.
Small correction. So it was for 3 hours. It's nice that you thought that you were leaving her with us for longer, but 3 hours program. But yes, yeah, and also nice that that's a very two valid points that I want to reiterate here to all the parents who are listening here. You must spread the message that wherever you go for therapy, ensure that the doors are open and you are allowed to see what is happening. Closed door therapies are, really not evidence-based and should not be accepted by any parent. And yes, I think some really valid points you made, Seema and Anupam. Thank you. Kajal, what about you? What would you like to say?
I mean, Comdeal, it came like a lighthouse for us, for a ship which had no direction to go. So I think it came as a lighthouse in our life. And it kind of, the strength and the wisdom, it kind of equipped us as a parents to deal with. As you said, that it was not a closed door approach. We as parents were sitting right there to understand and how to incorporate the same back at home. So it's like the wheels of the two cart. If Comdeal is working with your kid and one side, it's the parents also need to be working with the same efficiency back at home. And this, I was equipped. What is parallel talking? What is a picture book which I have to be making for him to explain his daily routine? What are the emotions which I need to picture and label and make him understand? The behavioral books and books on so many things which we have made over the years. Now I have forgotten, to be frank, but these books were so handy, and it kind of, I could see how gratifying it was towards the end of 3 to 4 years, because he could apply each and everything. So yes, I mean, these were the things which it's a huge takeaway from ComDeal. And Seema, I'm sorry, Deepa, headed with your team. I mean, it was super. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and now I put the spotlight on Priya. What is your early experience like that you want to share with the audience here?
So Deepa might not know, but I always call her my mentor. So it may be Akshit's development or my own learning from ComDeal or Communiverse now. So 3 takeaways from ComDeal was talking helps. The second thing, that's how parallel talk was induced in us, that talking helps. You talk to him first. The second thing was 22 hours a week. So this was put in our head. Now, even when I talk to parents, so this is the first thing I talk to them, that early intervention, 22 hours a week. So this has somehow put in my head, and that helped me a lot actually. And the third thing I remember, when Farhanaz was talking to me, Akshit was 3.5. Farhanaz is the oldest that time. So she was like, involve him in daily course. And I was amazed and taken aback, saying 3.5 years ko tum bol rahe ho, matlab dusting karo and all of that. But trust me, that is what has helped him now. Now he can do all the daily course with or without help. But that sentence, these 3 takeaways has helped me. And even now I'm grateful to Deepa and the entire team of inducing such concepts to us, concepts of visuals and all of that. I'm able to help other families. So what more to ask? So thank you so much.
Thanks. And before I move to the next question, Kajal, I'm going to come back to you, because I know that many parents here are thinking about speech, and the uppermost, on their mind is, when will I speak? Many parents believe that, forcing the child to speak is what should happen, and that is what speech therapy is all about. So, I'd like to hear from you as to how you, because even Atharva's speech was delayed, how did you handle that?
As I said, Deepa, one was the LPT kit, linguistic profile test kit, which was recommended. I used that sincerely. That was like my Bible to go. And lot of parallel talking. So there were times when you feel your jaws would drop off, because you're continuously talking, irrespective of the child is looking at you, not looking at you, but you're describing things on his behalf. I take him to the park. I'm telling him, look at the trees, look at the beautiful branches, leaves. It was a non-stop. I felt I was going insane. But at the end of the day, as I said, all these vocabs were actually registering in them. And when the gateway had to open, then you would see all these vocabs coming back in their tongue. So that kind of amazes that nothing goes wasted in this effort. So yes, we cannot force them, but all I can do is put in the 110% effort from us as parents, and then wait for the fruits to bear.
Yeah, I think very well put, that you philosophically do your duty and you will get the results in whatever that they may be. Thank you for that, Kajal.
Thank you.
With that, I move to the next segment about caregiver responsibilities, and I'll start with the Tiwari family. So Anupam, as a couple, you have supported each other, and from Seema's book, I know that you were college sweethearts. And it would not have been easy, because I also know that both of you have continued to work, very often. Otherwise, one parent ends up, not continuing to work or taking. So how did you both manage, and what were the challenges, and what were your strengths as a couple that you would like to share on this platform?
Deepa, to start with, we had our areas clearly defined. I used my brains a little less and took the area of basically cramming. So wherever any cramming was required, I was there. Then speech I used to work upon because I love music, so I have nuances of where how to speak and all pronunciation. And occupation therapy also did because it involved lot of masti and all the areas where application of brain was there, like maths and science and all those things. I gave it to Seema to take it forward. And one thing which we ensured is that we both worked equally. So it actually helped in two ways. That Nehal was not exposed to any single parent more, lot more than the other parent. The second thing was ki when like I was working with Nehal, Seema had time to basically regroup herself, look at what she has to do the next day or the next month to plan the activities. And in case if we want to indulge in some kind of hobbies, we had time for that. So that is basically, that was our strategy. And we never intentionally, we never barged into others' territory, because then it causes a lot of confusion. The
ऐसे
way
तो हो सकता then बीवी कैसे रहेगी? I always watched.
I know.
I know, झगड़े तो होंगे ही. But I must say that when we think about the olden days, olden days as in the years that have gone by, we always have good memories. So
Yeah.
it's good. It's good. Yeah.
And one important thing which we realized is that both the parents have to work equally. It helps a lot. It helps a lot, and there are few strengths which fathers have, few strengths which mothers have. So when they complement and supplement each other, the result is always good. And that way, that was basically how we worked. We had our challenges in between, but then we were happy we could pull on, and a lot of therapies and all things went
Yeah.
on and on.
Yeah. And for the audience, I would say Nehal is sitting here, and Nehal was not easy in the early days to manage. She's right now and sitting like an angel, Nehal, but we remember how you troubled us and how much masti you did when you were younger. Do you remember any of it, Nehal?
Yes.
You do? Okay.
Anybody?
Mm, So,
She's saying don't talk negative.
okay. I will not. Not negative.
No, she's telling me. Should I tell? Don't talk negative.
Okay. But for the audience here, I would like to say that research that is coming out tells us that the hours of intervention can actually make changes in the way in which the nervous system works. And when this happens at a very young age, you get exponential gains. So for this much effort, you will get this much gain. That same effort, if you put in at a much older age, you will get gain, but it will not be this much. And therefore, having both parents chipping in, involving extended family is a great idea, because one person alone, it's difficult to do. And with that, I come to another person who has a beautiful bond with her son, that is Priya. Priya, I know that, it has not been easy for you with Akshit. And yet today you enjoy a lovely relationship with him. He doesn't speak, but the bond that you both share is extremely special. I see it all the time. And it would be nice for our audience to know how you went about, formulating this bond. How did you develop it?
So it was not easy, to be very frank. But when I talk to any parent I come across, I usually, and it is the truth also, I have a deeper connection with my son than my husband, and it is no jokes. It is really that. So whenever I am sad, or whenever he just reads my face, he comes and he makes sure that I am okay. So he'll put that effort, saying, she's smiling now. She's smiling, so I'm okay now. So that's the connection we have made, and it has not been easy. So earlier it was not there. Earlier it was always this anxiety, like, मैं इतना efforts डाल रही हूँ, I have put in so much. Then why is this not reflecting? So this is the only statement which used to run in my mind. But then after that maturity comes in with time. But then Deepa was the first person to tell about dyspraxia and other motor challenges, which he's still not diagnosed with. But then I understood that maybe he is not able to come across with his body. He's not able to point as I directed. As I am telling him to. Maybe he knows, but he is not able to point. So all this came in later when Deepa had figured it out first, and then I read these books wherein Tito had mentioned that how can I talk when my lips don't move. That book was a game changer to me, and Carly's voice was a game changer to me. So all these books, when I read, I came to know that it is much more than autism has much more than what it seems. And it had Akshit had a lot of challenges. So then I started to talk to him in his level. I started talking. See, I understand that you're going through these challenges. I understand that you but you are not able to figure out. So these words of positivity, somehow we built a connection. And then he used to take my hand. Even it happens even till this day, where he would take my hand and he would point to the right way. Sometimes it is misunderstood as that I am doing it on his behalf, but I know my son. He knows where to ask for my help, and that's how the bond developed. Wherein we go on movie dates, we go to restaurants, so all of that, and he knows that I understand him. That's how on this basis the bond developed.
Yeah. So I think your awareness that he understands a lot, even though he cannot speak, and even though on the exterior he has all these sensory challenges, he's stimming, maybe he's being restless, but he still understands you, has been helpful, right?
Yes.
And for those of you who are not familiar with the term dyspraxia, it refers to a difficulty with voluntary motor movement. So, for example, if you call a child by his name and say, "Come here," he will understand that you are calling him, but he may find it difficult to follow the command. And that is a big understanding that we need to have, because it is not disobedience. It is a difficulty in carrying out. The body, the nervous system is not cooperating. For the professionals who are on the call here, Pat Miranda, I'm not getting the year, but there is a there is a paper on a backdoor approach to autism. That is the title of the paper. You can Google it and find it and read it. Here she talks about how now she is, Pat Miranda, as you know, is one of the leading experts in AAC. And she talks about how she increasingly now feeling that dyspraxia is under-recognized in this population. And I also am going to go out on and say that Comdeal was actually, Dr. Karan spoke about it much before the rest of the world did. And we have a program in our own country that is way ahead of its time and has benefited many families. And I'm really grateful to be part of that program. But yes, Priya, thank you for sharing that. And I hope that many parents who are struggling will find, strength in your work and take it forward for their own child. Kajal, for you, I have a slightly different question, because your journey has been different. Once he passed out of early intervention, Atharva has never really required any support. But there has been in middle school where he experienced bullying. And there was a particularly strong incident of bullying on a school trip, which actually shook you all as a family. So I would like to know, how did you tackle that, and how did you find, how did you support Atharva through this difficult time?
Right. I think bullyism is something very, I don't know, very generalistic word, right? From a neurotypical to our kids to, I guess all of us have gone through bullyism in some stages of life. And I feel we should sensitize the regular children. Before I plunge into this bullying thing, we need to really go into every school and sensitize the kids so that, they know how to approach as such. Okay, so I mean, in earlier days when he was small, because I knew he would be going to an all-boys school, and all-boys school is going to be totally boisterous, notorious. So I would show him a lot of YouTube videos, the friendly YouTube videos on what is bullying and who are bullies. And if I'm bullied, what should I do? I need to take help. I can't be a macho hero to punch or whatever, but I need to take help. I need to speak about this to my parents or to teachers or to friends or to whoever is around at that point of time when you're being bullied. So these are the mechanism to cope up with bullyism at early years is okay. Like, when you're small, you're like just punched or nudged or, whatever, the tupply you're given, and then you're being constantly laughed about, which is okay. But as the years progress, where they become more sensitive, then your communication has to be more lucrative and more open with your child, where you need to build up that kind of a relationship where your child comes back to you and talks to you about what is really going through him or his life. So this recently happened in the 10 boards, I mean, just before that overnight excursion, which was the most bickering and the painful experience, where I will not get into the detail, but yes, it kind of shook the world for us because his boards was just a month away. And thankfully, I was in touch with Deepa. Yes, we didn't need the intervention after he was mainstreamed, but I was in touch with her on and off on his setbacks, on his development, on the areas where I need to really work on. So when this incident happened, the first person I picked the call was Deepa. I'm like, this what has happened? How do I deal with it? And thankfully, he got back and he spoke to it about it.
What long?
He had a huge meltdown, and there was completely no focus, and he was clamped up. He went into his shell, so being humiliated for whatever XYZ reason. And then Deepa kindly, I mean, rightly, she put me to a child psychiatrist, right, Dr. Ganpati. So wherein I took her help, it was a timely help which was needed, an hour of the day. So that counseling, which really helped him to open up, to revive, and to again bounce back. And very happy to report that, yes, in spite of all this incidents of ups and downs, he scored 94% in his 10th boards. And yes, we were hugely relieved. Thank you so much, Deepa.
Yeah, thanks. I think it's a very valid point that I want families here to keep in mind that sometimes our children, in fact, anybody can get bullied, and many times children don't come back and talk to us about it. Even Kajal actually noticed some change in her son's behavior, and that's when she picked it up and then, got into it in detail and came to know, okay, such an incident has happened. I also recollect another child who, he's an adult now, an engineer, and he was bullied into taking money from his grandmother and buying all kinds of things for the children in his school. And he didn't even realize that he was stealing from his grandmother. He thought that, this is what, and he was scared by the other children in his school and told that if you don't do this, we will report it to the police. So these are things that as parents, we need to be alert and ensure that our children are supported. To the listeners here, especially young professionals who are here on the call, I would like to say that even after we discharge children from services, we must ensure that we are in touch with them. They can have communication challenges or breakdown in middle school or in adulthood, because the research does tell us that when the environmental demands change, because as you know, middle school is when the metacognitive aspects of development are kicking in. And if those are not kicking in the way they should, children may have change in behavior or dip in marks. And that's when, communication work and understanding the child's profile would definitely be helpful. And therefore, we must encourage parents to keep in touch even after they are discharged. With that, I come to teenage. And yes, a difficult period, even as the mother of a neurotypical, I know it was not easy for me, even having studied so much about it. It is hard for everybody. The hormones are all over the place and we don't know what to do. And this is where I would like to invite the Tiwari family to start as to how they prepared for the teenage years. So over to Seema and Anupam.
Hi, Deepa. Actually, I was very much worried how to tackle that part. So we started first with good touch and bad touch. We showed her many videos. We demonstrated also at home. So she got an idea what is a bad touch and good touch. So when she was in which standard? Seventh standard. Seventh standard. One a boy tried to touch her, gave her a bad touch in the library, and she was knowing that it's not correct. So she was having compass box in her hand. उसको वहाँ पे पिटाई की. Then she went to her classroom. रास्ते में what? Whoever teacher she met, she told everybody. वो बच्चा तो बदनाम हो गया पूरे स्कूल में. Everybody was knowing that he did this. So from that day, like I told Neha, yes, you did a correct thing, and she started understanding that this is what I need to do. For periods, I prepared her. I took time, like around करीबन 1 साल पहले से और या उससे ज्यादा से I started explaining to her कि such thing happens. I started showing her the things कि ये होता है, इसको यूज करना है, so that उसको shock नहीं लगे. She should be mentally prepared for that. And I showed her some biological facts also from her biology books. Also, I read the thing. I don't know how much she understood, but when the time came, she was fully prepared. She didn't get scared. My little one got scared. She cried. She cried and cried कि पापा को क्यों नहीं होता है. But Nehal took it very nicely. And when she was like in 11, 12, then meltdowns increased, and because bullying was there. But with Nehal, because her understanding was not that much at that time to understand sarcasm, so वो time निकल गया. But now, if somebody will bully her, yes, she is going to feel that. वो sometimes अगर आपको कम समझ में आता है, so that is also good. She didn't feel bad. Although bullying was there, it was a
very common in most
common, yeah. And she used to roam around when she was in fourth, fifth class. She used to roam around, so she was more prone for bullying. But that time passed, and now she understands and she avoids those kind of people जो उसको bully करते हैं. And we told her कि it's not good to use bad language. Just avoid them. So she is trying that.
Thank you.
One small thing, it's a very small thing, but we worked on ki, like whenever Nehal is meeting a male, so to do namaste, not shake hands, because
not shake hands.
we never know when we are around, so then it's fine. But she travels in a local train, she travels in a bus. So that way we told Manika, with females you can be comfortable, you can with women you can shake hands and all, but with males, so even if our close namaste like that. So
I think it's better to be safe and put these strategies in place. Very relevant. Thank you so much. Priya, you are right now going through the teenage.
So I knew that Akshi won't learn, or maybe it was my misconception that he won't learn in a day or two. So I started it when he was 8. I gave him a lot of pictures of, private and public, wherein what can be done in private and what cannot be done when you're touching your private parts, which rooms can be used. So all these I had made cards where he would segregate, saying this is private and this is public. And then I developed a social story wherein, wherein there was pictures of touching himself or fiddling with his whatever the private things are, that it can be done only in his bedroom or in a toilet. And then I have put pictures from 4-5 years back, wherein private was put and public was not put, but then just to let him know that bedroom and his toilet is his private space. So this is how we started. Now he knows, whatever the situation may be, he knows that I have to, whatever it is, I have to go to my private space and do my private things. So that is where it is very aware. for him. He's very aware of them. And the next thing wherein rules wherein he doesn't understand space, he goes very close to people. So as a child, people welcome it, but you know, when he'll become an adult, he will not be so welcomed. So we have a book, big book of social rules, which he had earlier in physical copy. Now it's in Avaz. So that, so then he himself, if he faced that situation, he himself goes to that, and then I have to be away from this person. I mean, while talking, I have to stand away. So all these he will press. So I get to know that something has happened. That's why he's going and pressing in Avaz. And the third thing is meltdowns. Yeah.
For those who don't know, Avaz is a software on a tablet. Since Akshit does not speak, he communicates through the Avaz app. So yeah, sorry.
And the third thing is meltdowns, wherein he's just showing his authority that he's the teenager of the house. Wherein so then so we respect his no and all of that. Everybody's aware that he's the boss of the house. And then I built in a social story wherein what you can do when you're angry. I didn't introduce him the word meltdown. So whenever he has a meltdown, he makes sure he will go to the Avaz and say that when I'm angry, I can do all this. So it has got into his rote memory. He's using it. I'll not say it is 100% successful, but then he's using it. So I'm really happy about it.
No, you are able to go on holidays. You are able to travel. I would say that that's big success. All children, whether they have autism or don't have autism, all teenagers have their good days and their bad days. So I think it's perfectly fair. So yeah, and with that, I come to the next question on inclusion. So Nehal studied in GD Somani, Gopi Birla, and then did her college from St. Xavier's. Can you please share with us some of the strategies that you used so that she could be comfortable in the regular school, which I'm sure many parents are wanting to know?
To start with, Deepa, we were a little fortunate when Nehal came to GD Sumani school. We had a shadow teacher for almost 2 years. Then the school came forward and said that we will manage without shadow teacher. You leave it to us. That is our job, and we'll take full responsibility of Nehal. Then what we did is we were in constant touch with teachers. We never asked them that you should do this. We always ask them what we can do at home, which will be beneficial for you to deal with Nehal at school. So it was as if we are going to them to seek their advice, depending upon what issues Nehal is facing. So that was our approach. Not all the teachers were good, but we never complained because it looks as if we are over expecting from the school, and that is a part and parcel of life. You meet all kinds of people on your way. So basically we tried to even motivate them, ma'am, you are doing good, this thing if you can do additional, this will help Nehal or sir, whoever was there. At the end of the year, I used to write a letter to the principal, and when Nehal
Very good.
and when Nehal passed out 10th standard, so he showed all the letters, whatever letters you have written, I have preserved it, and the kind of language you have used. And he, on basis of that letter, he used to, the principal told the teachers that here's a parent who is appreciating all your efforts. So when they had that kind of staff meeting, then he used to do. So that was basically, and at Gopi and GD Somani, when Nehal went to Gopi Birla, she was the first child on spectrum to be admitted. It was a CBSE school. So initially the principal was skeptical, but she was very nice lady. So then they put on their website, we are open to accepting children with autism. So the same happened at Gopi Birla, and the same happened at GD Somani school. At Xavier's, it was a dream come true for us because they already have a cell by the name of XRCVC, which was initially meant for children with visual disabilities. But then the year Nehal got into St. Xavier's College, the whole year was celebrated as inclusive education. So that way, this center they expanded its reach to cover all the kind of disabilities, and she got a very good support from college as well. Seema, you'd like to add?
Actually, from the day one, we understood that we should not keep any expectation from the school. If Nehal is going there, she will learn automatically from the teachers, from the other kids. So we should not expect anything that they are going to put any extra effort for my child. So with that in mind, अगर कोई थोड़ा सा भी कर देते तो हमको बहुत बड़ा लगता था, अरे ये तो बहुत अच्छा कर दिया है. And second thing is always give positive feedbacks. Nobody is ready to take your negative feedbacks. कोई सुधरने वाला नहीं है आपके बोलने से. They are not going to change. So always try and look for something positive and then send that back to them. Yeah, this was very nice and this. So it helped us. And they really supported Nehal. They took her everywhere in all the field trips, wherever they went, and that brought lot of confidence in Nehal.
One thing, Deepa, I would like to add here is our 1 year at Comdeal, 1.5 year, really came to our rescue, because if we would have put Nehal directly in a school, howsoever good the teachers and the principal are, she would have that initial period where in a group she would have difficulty in adjusting. So what we got at Comdeal was something which came to our rescue and Nehal's help. And teachers also understood that, okay, she can be in a smaller group. So they had 1 or 2 good children who took care of Nehal, kind of buddy system, which continued till college. So that Comdeal actually equipped Nehal to be in a group, in a classroom setting with lot of discipline, do's and don'ts, and lot of things, what is to be do's and don'ts. Apart from that, how to be in a group. Even though at times she had her meltdowns, and when she was not in a class, she was roaming outside. But when she was in a class, and one thing which happened with her is that she used to finish her work a little faster than other kids. So that actually helped teachers to understand that, okay, she is doing. The only thing is she's got some issues due to which she is behaving like this. So that also helped us. So
Yes. I think for me, the biggest takeaway from what you all have said is the very positive approach, no complaining, and taking on whatever you can get and being as supportive as possible. I think that is what probably has really stood you in good stead. And with that, I come to the next question for you, Priya. I know that in your journey, like I'm sure all the panelists here will agree, that it is not always a upward curve. I mean, there are setbacks, and you have also had setbacks. It will be nice if you can share a little bit about it, so that the families here know that they are not alone.
Earlier, now we have a great bond. I'm not watering it down. I'm not highlighting anything, but we have a great chemistry, me and my son. So the breakdowns are much lesser, but at the earlier stage, it was at least once a week, wherein I would go in a room and just listen to music, or I'll cry my heart out. And even my mother, my husband understood that she needs this time, so let her come back. And once I have taken the time and I've come out, I'm still refreshed, and I know my responsibilities, and I'm back to work. And my husband, I have to really be thankful to my husband for this, that he used to take us for a short vacations every week. So he made sure that we all are there, and there Akshit surprised us, wherein he will go horse riding, he will attempt all the things, wherein at home he would have hundreds and thousands of motor challenges, and in vacations I don't know where it went through. I understand the science behind it. I'm just to just make a conversation. And there he would explore everything, and he would act as calm as us. And so that's how that was. So talking about this, about a setback, there was a point wherein I was, constantly blamed that I was not consistent with my work at home. That's why it was not reflecting elsewhere. So that was a major setback, wherein I was doing my hard work, but still it was not getting noticed. So that is still a set. I mean, I still have that why are not people recognizing it, that I am doing my work. It is my son who is not able to, because of his challenges, he's not able to display that. So that was one thing, which you also spoke about, that dyspraxia is not autism has a little bit of awareness, but dyspraxia is something wherein it is not brought into light that much. So
Yeah. So he, in places where he does not get the kind of support that he needs, he's not able to demonstrate his knowledge.
yes.
And people misinterpret it, thinking that you are not doing as a mother. I can
Yes.
appreciate your frustration as well as the frustration that your son would be facing.
Yeah.
In this context, I really would like to talk about annual day, because that's another thing that many mothers come to me, and you've had, I remember many years ago, Akshit actually had a regression. So just to give a background, so what happens whenever there is an annual day or a sports day, the routine of the school goes for a 6. So the routine is not there. And children who are, on the spectrum very often like to have a consistent routine. So children like to have a consistent routine, and when the routine is not there, their behavior can dip, and that is what happened and happens with Akshit almost every year. Priya, why don't you throw some light on that?
So it happens almost every year, wherein he will have a sudden dip and he would behave differently at home. And I would remain clueless at the initial stage, wherein I had spoken to Deepa in length, saying this is not how Akshit is. Akshit was never this. In initial days he was aggressive, but then after, he was never aggressive. He would follow everything at home. But then suddenly he started pulling his pants down without a reason and all of that. So it
In school,
concerned me a lot.
right? Yeah.
In school. So it concerned me a lot. And then I spoke to Deepa, and Deepa had actually put a light on that what has changed. Do you think anything at school happened? And then I went to the school and actually found out that there was this change in his routine, and he was just put in with bunch of the other kids. And so there were a group of kids who were pulled out for the practice, and the other kids were left with a bunch of teachers. But then it was not his regular routine. So then I had to talk to the counselor of the school and all of that. And it happens almost every year. And now we have even the principal of the school, and we know that how Akshit can be dealt during the time. And social stories help. So we have all the social stories in Avaz. So that helped him a lot.
Thanks. And Kajal, I think it's very important that parents find their own ways of finding their strengths. You had shared with me that how your spiritual journey actually helped you find your strength. And like I said, I think that was very important, because unless you overcome your own anxieties, anybody, their brain does not function. I mean, you need to be calmed down. That's what the science also tells us, that an anxious brain cannot be the best brain in terms of whatever work that you are doing. So I'd like you to share with us briefly how you have overcome, this, and how have you become stronger?
Yes, completely. An anxious brain can never think straight. It's like scattered into million pieces, right? And to get those million pieces assembled back, you need some kind of for me, it was my Buddhism. A friend of mine introduced me to this beautiful practice. It's not a religion, it's just a way of life. So I took up to this practice like fish taken to water. And that spiritual anchor is something which really calmed me down. And only once when I was calm, when I was able to accept it, I was able to progress along with him. Else, I don't think so we would have made a headway in any ways. Though, I mean, for Dheeraj, I think it was already instilled in him to be calm and poised, but it wasn't me. I was more rattled up, more shaken up. So yes, the spiritual anchor really, really helped me. So as a caregiver, I guess we need to find our ways and means on how we need to really compose ourselves and work at it. Find your ways to just go and, like a stress buster, either go meet your friends or go to a coffee shop or a bookshop or whatever it is. Or for me, it was Buddhism, where I could really, really delve into the practice and put the practice into actual test. So yes.
I think the first step is to recognize that you are feeling extremely anxious, that your anxiety is not allowing you to function the way you should be functioning.
Yes.
And then I think one should look for ways in which this can be dealt with. There is a lot of professional support available today. There are other ways. You can have your own spiritual journey. You can do so many things, but it needs to be addressed. I think
Correct.
that's a very important point, and thank you for that, Kajal.
Yeah, thank you.
And speaking of strengths, I come to my next question. I mean, as therapists and as parents, I think the most important thing to do is to focus on strengths. So a strength-based approach is what even, is the evidence telling us that we need to work from strengths. So my question to all the panelists here is that, how did you provide opportunities to your children to develop holistically, not focusing only on what they could not do, but give them opportunities to discover what they can do? It is not about discovering some special, capacity. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about holistic development, not just focusing on speech or not just focusing on ABCD and mathematics, but they need to have, everybody needs a quality of life. So that is my question. How did you give that to Nehal?
Deepa, we actually tried whatever was possible humanly with the constraints we had. We enrolled her to skating, swimming, basketball, lawn tennis, chess, abacus, UCMS, then painting, because we actually never knew what would help. So we tried as many things as possible. So that is how we started. And painting, she initially started with pastels. After that, she started with watercolors and all. So we tried, because lot of younger I have a small advice to younger parents. Everybody thinks that our children have 7 abilities, and every children has, but it's not the case.
Yeah, or special abilities may not be present in all children.
Yeah. Once you give them exposure, there are few things which you will be like, we all are surprised when it comes to our children. Like when she met you last, maybe 5-6 years back, she'll tell you the date right now. So those kind of abilities, 100 years calendars and all. But that is basically, once you progress, then only you come to know. So we tried whatever was possible with us, let it be sports, swimming, running, everything. And we were fortunate that when she passed 10th, she got a consistent performer award. Because music, sorry, I forgot music as well. She plays keyboard. So whatever was there, so she used to take part in swimming competition, running competition, and keyboard competition. And we had a very apt quote for her: if you win, you get a prize, and if you don't, you get a surprise.
I heard, I remember that, yes.
Basically,
Explain it to the,
participation was the main thing.
Yeah.
So
you should explain it so that they understand what you're saying. So you get a prize from school and you get a surprise from home, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So even if you are participating and you are not winning, it's okay. Don't cry. It's okay. You will get a surprise, and that surprise used to be better than prize. So वो चलता था, and like in 9th standard, she participated in all the events in school. वो जीती किसी में भी नहीं. Running में तो she used to come last because of her motor skills, but still she participated कि surprise तो मिलेगा, and then school gave her a consistent performer award. And then for stone painting, she learned from her college in a 30-minute session. She picked one stone and she made something. That was okay, that was good. But then we used social media. We placed it pic in our family group and everybody started praising it. तो बहुत अच्छा है. And that thing motivates our kids. So my point is exploit social media to the young parents, exploit it to any extent. So when she started making paintings, we started putting, I made her website, we made her Insta page, Facebook page, and जैसे ही thumbs up मिलता, that thing keeps on improving. Her skills keep on improving. Like this is what she makes now. Can you see that? So
Yeah.
it's on the river stone. So because of
Yeah, beautiful expressions in her. You know.
So she needs. Because of social media, all thumbs up came and it motivated her, and now it is her passion. So
Beautiful, Ganesha, very nice.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, and this one I have in my house. Ganesha, I love it. Yes.
So like that, it's not necessary कि उनको passion हो, but you can turn their hobbies and their skills in their passion by motivating them. And don't hunt too much for the 7 capabilities. First try करिए, किसी चीज में hit हो जाएगा.
Yeah, and she cooks. I remember we've had long conversations about recipes.
Yes, she cooks.
Tell me, when did we have the conversation? Do you remember?
When you spoke to, when we went to Deepa Auntie's home, 19 June 2017.
Yeah, correct. 2016, I remember. I don't remember 19 June, but thank you. All right. So that I think was really nice to hear that, basically give as many opportunities as you can and, they will develop from there. Akshit's trajectory has been, okay, before I move to Akshit, I think it'll be nice to see some videos. Smriti, will you be able to show us some videos now? We can start with Nehal's video.
Yes, ma'am.
So Nehal is quite a star, and while we are putting the video on, Nehal, do you want to say that what is your Insta account and that you also take orders for your stone paintings, right? Why don't you inform the audience about it?
My Insta page is stonepainting.mumbai. You can DM me on Instagram.
All right. And so anybody who wants to pick up Neha's stone paintings, you may place an order with her and you will get it beautifully packed. I like to gift them to my friends during Diwali. All right. Smriti, are we good to go? So first you will see a video of Nehal's paintings. Yeah, start. Yeah, so as you can see, she was invited by the President of India herself to participate in Purple Fest that happened this year, where she displayed her stone paintings. She has been a recipient of numerous awards and been featured in the newspapers, many of the national dailies, as well as I think Madhya Pradesh, from where they hail. So we have quite an achiever here in Nehal. And with that, I come to Akshit. Akshit has also had his own journey, battled many battles, and you will watch this video here where you find that he's doing all his things on his own by himself. And I think a lot of the credit goes to Priya, who makes sure that she includes him in activities through the day. It's not just therapy, it is through the day. So Smriti, can we see Akshit's video? Nice to see him enjoying chat. But
That was not intentional. Okay.
no, but it's nice to see. Before I also before I move on, Priya, I want to ask you a question. Two things. One, like I said, you involve him in every chore, which I think is great. I can see some questions, and I know that many people will be wondering and thinking that, oh, but my child is stimming all the time. He's, never in one place. How do I stop it and get him to do this cleaning of the table? So I know that Akshit also has his stims, but you know what to do and how to do. So that is one. And the second thing that in conversation that you mentioned to me, I thought was very good. And you said that it's not about how many house help you have at home or, but it is about giving opportunities to make our children independent. So that, of course, is fine. But I want you to tell the others about the stimming.
So Akshit stims a lot. The first stim which is his favorite is this. So he goes into his own world when he waves his head. So what I do is basically he is fond of textures. So whatever you could have seen that how he was doing the atta, it was not the same thing when we started it. It was just play with the flour, and the flour would be everywhere. So, but I didn't mind that. The point is when I started, all my course I did it in front of him. I didn't force him to come and sit. I knew that somehow this would attract him because he likes the textures. So I would make sure that I had a time wherein he would I and him would be in the same room, and I would start doing it. Then slowly, instead of when he was stimming, then he noticed me that I'm doing something which is of his interest. So he slowly started and coming. He started sitting next to me, and then after a few days, I offered him a bowl and let him play with it. And once he had this confidence that mother is doing something interesting, it's not like forcing me or something. So even while colon also, I let him spray colon. I let him explore the colon and spray it on hands and all of that. And slowly I would do it. I would model it for him, and he would do it. And slowly the instruction came in. The instruction never came in the beginning. The beginning he was finding it as an activity which is something which I and mama can do together. That's how I introduced it for every core. And then somehow the stimming stopped whenever I used to have the ball in front of him. So he would come running, and he would take, when I cut the vegetables, he would have his own knife and cut it along with me. In the video also, you must have seen. He had volunteered to come and cut it with me. So it is never a day's work. So it was years of work. In fact, 11 years of work wherein he has reached here. Now, of course, he chooses his activities. He goes and he tells, I'll not do the dusting, I'll do this today. I'll not do the rotis, I'll do cutting today, which is okay. But I'm happy that I will never in my life say that how to engage my child. I know that whatever I am engaging in, he will engage himself in. So that's how the journey started.
Very powerful, consistent work. And you are
Yes.
getting the results. You're saying that
Yes.
yes, you know, and that was one. And another thing, important thing, yes. So to those of you who are wondering, and I can see the question in the chat box, please remember that this is it's a neurodiversity. The nervous system is different. So our children require those, sensory stimming that they are doing, and we should not stop them. We should work with our occupational therapists to look at ways in which we can provide this, which may be socially more meaningful, but stopping them is not really advisable, because it will come out in the form of poor behavior, and you will end up in more challenges than you started off with. And with that, we are coming towards the close of the discussion today, but I cannot let you go without, having a quick chat with Neha. And also, Akshit feels nervous about coming on live. So we have a recording from him where he would like to introduce himself. And we also have a small video from Atharva. But one quick question that I forgot and I must ask Kajal is Atharva's football. So I will give you just a couple of minutes to talk about how you introduced him to football, and then we will speak to you, Nehal. Yes.
Football was very organic because of his father. He was an ardent football lover. So watching the game kind of ignited the love for this little boy to actually play. So henceforth, we kind of put him in a private football club. And the training was so intense that this guy took up to the whole football like fish taking to water. And he was picked up by his school team. And he became the striker, the main striker for his football team. Then on scoring goals, it was no looking back. So he became like a star player with many, many goals. And then on, I put him in a swimming, gymnastic, all these regular courses, which as a parent, you would like your child to explore and see what really suits him. And then definitely speech and drama. I think that really touched the other facet of his life, because he had a very different diction and his articulation was very, very different. And then the debates and the elocutions, they just naturally happened, and winning prizes too. So yes.
Yeah, I think the common message here is the providing models, not forcing children, but providing models. So
Right.
Yeah, and with that, I come to Nehal. Nehal, I would like to give the mic to you now. Just a minute while I figure out the pinning. Yes. Nehal, where are you? I can't see you.
Hi,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yes. So, Nehal, why don't you tell everybody what did you study in your degree?
I did PSc IT in St. Xavier's College, and there at college I studied statistics, maths, programming,
All right.
etc. And I also did practicals.
Nice. And I know that you are currently working. So why don't you tell us where you are working, and how often do you go to the office?
I am working in Samyang India Limited as a consultant in technology consulting. My managers are very supportive. I'm doing data compilation, data extraction, and data flow diagram. And I go to office twice a week. Remaining days I work from home. And I also love canteen food. I also love the event organized at EY office, and sometimes I go for offsite it with EY office colleagues and seniors, and my manager allowed work to me and I submit it on time. And last year I got an award. I'm exceptional.
Yes, I saw your exceptional award in social media. And I also saw that you had gone out with your friends with your colleagues, I think, for an evening out, right?
Yes.
Yes. And you have a sister, Vedika. What do you like to do with Vedika?
I have my younger sister, Vedika. I love to go out with Vedika and have fun.
Nice. Thank you, Nehal, for being so
And
patient.
And whenever she becomes sad and falls sick, then I console Vedika. And when I become sad, then Vedika console me.
Yes, your mama told me you don't like to see Vedika sad at all.
No.
Yeah. I think Vedika is lucky to have you as her elder sister.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and thank you for sitting through the whole program. I hope we were not too boring. And now I would like to share Akshit's video where Akshit is introducing himself to us. Smriti, will you play the video, please?
Mama would like to play your Avaz video, no, in a meeting. Would you like to introduce yourself? Okay.
About me. My name is Akshat.
Okay.
I live in Roadpalli. I study in. My name is Akshat. I live in Roadpalli. I study in Sunshine School, Vashi.
Would you like to talk about your likes or hobbies?
My name is Akshat. I like sensory toys. My name is Akshat.
Thank you so
I live
much.
in Roadpalli. I study in.
Oh, I love that flying kiss. What ugly.
Sensory. Fidgets.
This is a younger.
You want fidget spinner? Take. What is Akshi eating?
Cucumber.
Akshit is eating cucumber. Yes, good. Say something else. Swimming pool for invalids. We can go to the mall. Which mall you want to go?
In orbit.
We can go, but we can go only outside of the mall. Okay? Is that okay? Is that okay? Yeah. What Akshi wants to do? You want me to help? Yeah? Yeah, I'll help you. Okay. What do you want to do? Should I hold your... Yeah? Huh. I'll help you. I'll help you. I'm holding your wrist. Huh. Hi? Yeah. To play with.
Basic. Play. Sensory toys.
Which one?
Kinetic sand.
Kinetic sand I can't give you now. You want to look for any other option? Yeah. So look. Page down. Go page down.
Page down. Play-Doh.
You want Play-Doh? Yeah? Are you? Yeah. Take. Good talk. This. What is this? Actually, use Avaz and tell. What is this? It's a
Pen.
Please call who?
Dad, please call daddy.
డాడీ కాల్నా డాడీ బయట పోయినారేమా నీతో సెప్సే పోయినారు ఇక్కడ సోహం ఏమి
Stop.
You want to stop this activity? Yeah? Okay, we'll stop it.
When I get angry, what can I do? Take deep breaths. What can I do? Take deep.
Yeah, so that was a very nicely compiled, Priya. Thank you for that. For the audience, I would like to say that Priya has kind of tried to show you the journey that they have taken together on Avaz. You know, it was not easy getting him to communicate through Avaz. She's still working on it. But you see a younger Akshit and then, showing cucumber, what he likes to eat. And then now when he misses his father, he's able to communicate that and tell Priya, I think just day before yesterday, he said, I'm missing my father. Where is he? Because his father travels a lot. So, there are emotions as well that he can communicate on Avaz very beautifully. With that, Atharva. Atharva is a class 12 student. And I'm told that on Saturdays, he has tuitions right up to 10 p.m. So he could not be here with us today. He's working very hard. But I would like to show you a short, and he's a typical teenager. He doesn't feel comfortable getting recorded. But, he's given us permission to show you his video of class 10, where he got the highest marks in commerce in the 10th boards. And that's a video of him receiving the award on stage. Yes, Smriti.
Atharva Shetty for commercial application. Aditya.
So that's Atharva. And I must also mention that twice a week, he, under the Cathedral School program, he teaches children with autism at Savera Foundation. So I think it's commendable, yes. And with that, I think you've had a sense of what the individuals and the spectrum of autism looks like. And I now open up to question and answers. Hopefully my colleague Smriti has had the chance to compile them. Smriti, have you been able to do that?
Yes, Fab. So there are a lot of general questions which are directed to you directly. So people have concerns regarding social interactions. They want to see how they can include their child in different surroundings and improve their awareness for different settings.
Yeah, so let's stop there. Let's talk about social interaction and improving awareness. I think any one of the panelists can take that question. Seema and Anupam, would you like to take that question? How to increase social interactions?
The first thing is to for younger parents is to take your child to whichever places you go. Let it be a mall, let it be market, let it be anywhere. And for that, you need to be mentally prepared in case if he's not behaving in so-called neurotypical fashion, then it's perfectly fine. In a place like Mumbai, that is actually a blessing in disguise. The people here are not bothered what you are doing, what your child is doing. So that way we have been fortunate from the very starting that we are in Mumbai. So that has helped us. Otherwise, the best thing is to take him around so that the children also get a feel of different surroundings, and it also mentally prepares them that these are all the possibilities, the different things which can happen, kind of. So that is what
you can always find a few families who are actually welcoming. So just exploit that option. Never leave that option. उनके घर जाइए, उनसे मिलिए, उनके लिए अच्छा अच्छा कुक करके ले जाइए, but don't miss that option. And secondly, हो सकता है आपके सर्वेंट्स के बच्चे हों, so never think कि उनके साथ हमारा बच्चा नहीं खेल सकता है, because अगर वो ज्यादा एक्सेप्टिंग होते हैं क्योंकि वो ज्यादा बुलिंग फेस किए होते हैं, और जब आप उनसे अच्छे से बात करके खिलवा रहे होते हैं, so they are more they become better friends for our kids. So always do that. नहीं तो हम लोग क्या करते हैं, गार्डन में ले जाएंगे, अपने सोशल स्टेटा वाले बच्चों के बीच खिलाने की कोशिश करेंगे, and they will reject them पक्के से. So just try कि जो भी आपको मिल रहा है, जो भी आपके बच्चे के साथ खेलने के लिए तैयार है, just be open to them.
I remember you had an older girl who used to play with her, no? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I have also seen that older girls generally they like to mother younger children, and it works pretty well. So that's something that parents can explore. And that brings me to the question of temper tantrums, which I think is uppermost on many minds. And I'd like Priya to take this question. How do you deal with it when your child throws a temper tantrum in public?
So whenever it is in public, I usually carry some fiddle toys of his, because at present he doesn't have any right now. But when he was really younger, I just spoke to him saying, "Mama understands that you're angry or whatever," and I just leave it at that. I say that you can calm yourself down, and I give him that fiddle toy to come, and I don't care about. I don't know. Somehow, from initial stages, I was never embarrassed or I didn't take anybody's reactions very seriously. The point was just to take care of my son and how he is feeling right now. If the others are feeling overwhelmed, my son is also feeling overwhelmed by some reason. It may be a sensory overload. It may be thousands of things, it may be the uncomfortable stays which is on him. So all of that, at that point, I used to take care only of my son, and I used to see that how he's calm, by carrying those toys and all. That's
Thank you. Yeah. So, don't get embarrassed and give them the support that they need. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Priya. I see a lot of raised hands. Like I said earlier, we will be taking questions only from the chat box in the interest of time, because we are going to club questions together and try and do that. So, Smriti, will you tell us what is the next question?
Yes, another question is regarding controlling stimming. So I think Priya had earlier covered that point.
Yeah.
So we'll move on from that. Parents have questions regarding inclusive schools in different locations.
For that, I would say that
schools.
Forum for Autism is a good parent support group. Get in touch with Forum for Autism. You will find them online. They have lists of schools which are inclusive in Mumbai, the various locations in Mumbai, and possibly they may have Pune as well, because they do a lot of work pan Maharashtra. So Forum for Autism is your best bet. Similarly, for those listening in from Bangalore, they will, Bangalore also, I'm forgetting the name of that, but Bangalore parent support. So, get in touch with your local parent bodies and they will be able to help you. Yeah, Smriti. And Smriti has put up our Instagram handle on the chat box. Those of you who are not following us, do follow us, because we are regularly updating. I mean, as best as we can, we put up some videos sharing our experiences and our learnings, and you may find that useful. Yes, there are relaxations in CBSE. Board does give concessions. You need to get your child assessed and then reach out. Generally, your school will be able to guide you on this. My son is 7, very good with me and his papa, but not others. So yes, in order to generalize your skills, and I also saw some grandparents asking me, how can we help our children? Grandchildren. So be involved right from the beginning, and as your grandchildren pick up skills, help them, play with them, include them in whatever you are doing. If they are not playing with you, keep talking to them all the time, expose them. And even for the 7-year-old, gently exposing him to different situations, not suddenly, if you haven't done that so far. When they are younger, it's easier. Keep exposing them to different situations and they will start enjoying. But if they are older, then you'll have to go about it gradually, build it up systematically. It can be done, but it will take some time. Smriti, do you have another question?
Yes. Priyanka Ray has question regarding, is therapy a lifelong requirement?
Okay, so it varies from child to child. It depends on the severity of the problem, and also even if the problem is quite severe, if the parents have understood how to support, like and learn the ways in which your child can be supported, then a lot of things can be reduced. I think parent empowerment is very powerful and very required. Some individuals will require lifelong support. Some individuals will not require much support beyond the early years. Some individuals, we have some who come back to us, I mean, whom we discharge, but sometimes they come back to us in middle school. We are supporting many of them online. So it varies from child to child, difficult to answer. Like I said, it's a spectrum. You saw that today very clearly, 3 very different journeys. So it varies from child to child, depending on the nature of the difficulty. Yes, Smriti.
When do we decide on academics? When to start?
Okay. I think I will let the Tiwari family answer that. Do you want to take it or shall I take it? I'll let you take it.
You started basically academics becomes a part of therapy, because to increase the sitting span we give them pen, pencil. Also it becomes a part of therapy. In the deal also we did pre-academics, they learn counting, and academics is required to bring confidence in your child. If your child is going to school and not able to perform anything, then child will be disheartened, or sare meltdowns and negative things will start coming. So academics is required not only for passing the exams, but also to bring the confidence in your child. You have to start from the day one.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And in fact, that's what Dr. Karanth used to say, that the reason we have cognition, on the COMD checklists, one of the domains that we assess and intervene for, provide therapy for, is cognition. Because cognition and that area of academics, what we say, one of which is academics, is a strength for most children. So, they get more confident, and when we put them in school, we can't have them falling behind. Very rightly said, Seema. Having said that, I also want to say that, I have seen some parents and some therapists also teaching words like Xmas tree and pineapple, which have no functional value. If your child cannot say give, if your child is not able to understand yes and no, it makes no sense to teach him X for Xmas tree. So our goal should be how to develop communication and how to, so we use academics to build on some skills like sitting or attention, but in the initial stages, that will not be our focus. So we will not evaluate and see sikha ki nahi. We will see ki baithna sikha ki nahi. So there's a big difference which your therapist can guide you with further. I'll not go into the details. And I can see Indrani here, and we had to do a lot of work with Indrani to get her to stop asking questions. As a speech and language therapist, asking questions and expecting that the child's language will develop is the worst thing you can do. Talk to your child, but don't ask questions. That is not the natural way in which we all communicate. So if your child could answer a question and speak, he would be speaking by now.
I have improved, Deepa.
We need to develop the skills that are required so that the child can answer. Yes, Indrani, you wanted to say something?
I was just saying I have improved, and Kiana is talking much, much better now. Thank you.
Yeah, stop asking questions and your
Yeah, not asking anymore.
move better towards, yeah. So next question, I think we have 10 minutes more. We can take a couple of questions more. Yes, Smriti, do you want to tell me what is the next question?
Some of the questions are related to, are we working with 10-year plus children for them?
Yes, like I said, we work with children across the lifespan, and we work both in person and... Yes, Smriti, let's continue.
Yes. Does teletherapy work?
I'm listening to that also.
So at Communiverse, what we do is we empower parents. So when the child is older, then we do work directly with the child also. And if the parents are willing to understand and do what we are telling them, we have had good results with online sessions as well. When they are very young, it is not possible to work directly with them through a screen. So what we do is we empower parents so that they can then work with their children. As children get older and they're able to sit across the screen and work with us, we do work with many children. Like I said, Smriti will tell you she's been working with one fellow in the UK who actually comes and sits down for therapy even before his parents are up. And he actually negotiates, I believe, with his parents and says, I'm going for this session, so what am I going to get in return? So, Nehal, did you also do that? Okay, so but yes, teletherapy does work. It works like with any other therapy. Parents and therapists have to work together. Yes, Priti.
One very good question is, do working mom needs to take break?
Okay, that's a tough one. And as a working parent, I mean, myself, I will never say that, you need to stop working. But I think a blanket statement cannot be made. It depends on what are the supports that you have available. If you have supports and you can, figure out your child's timetable in a way that especially in the younger ages, you have to figure out how your child is going to get the support. That is one thing. If the severity of the problem is very high, then I think one parent needs to get involved, almost full time, because if you do not put the right processes in place in the early years, later on it becomes very difficult. So it's difficult to say yes or no. I would say it varies from every family, and also sometimes we have no choice. I mean, it's something that we have to do. And if that's the case, within that, then we have to find out what are the ways in which we can still support and provide the support that our children need. So I would say that it is very individual specific. And I think Seema wants to say something. Yeah, Seema.
Yeah, actually, if possible, अगर आपके पास setup है, तो there are very positive points if mother is working, because वो burnout नहीं होते हैं. We get some place थोड़ा change रहता है. Otherwise, if घर पे हैं तो we'll be after the child on the time. And जब बच्चे को एक ही person का वो मिलता है, तो वो he started or she started hating the person, ये तो मेरे पीछे लगी रहती है. And then जो आपका counterpart है, husband, वो आधी responsibility लेता नहीं है. वो आप तो हो घर में, you are there ना, so क्या किया, क्या सीखा, you are not doing it properly, so that all things come. So एक पेरेंट को कभी भी पूरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं लेना चाहिए, इवन दो आप बहुत एफिशिएंट हो तो भी, क्योंकि आपको बर्नआउट हो जाएगा, चाइल्ड विल स्टार्ट हेटिंग यू, एंड सेकेंडली आपका जो काउंटर पार्ट है वो बहुत आराम से उससे हाथ धो लेगा, ही विल नॉट बी इन्वॉल्वड इन दैट. सो इफ सिचुएशन परमिट्स, जॉब कंटिन्यू रखना, मतलब फॉर मी इट वर्क.
No, I agree with you. That's why I said I think it's very.
Deepa, I would also like to add one thing. If suppose in case if a parent, in most cases it's mothers, if they leave job, then they somehow relate child progress to their own performance. So it becomes double whammy for them. If the child is not performing, they say I have left that also and I am not able to perform. So it is a very difficult situation. So that is one more. This is my perspective as far as.
Yeah, I'd like to bring in Priya with a different perspective. Priya, you have something to say?
Yes. So as Deepa introduced me, I was peak of my career and I used to work 20 hours a day. When Akshit was diagnosed, I realized that how important it is for me to stay with my child. So for me, leaving job was very sane decision. And as I've been talking the whole webinar that he needed my support, and that's how we cultivated bond. It was only because when I left job, and once he was 10 years old, I was back again. So it is the initial work which I'm really thankful or grateful that I could spend that much time to have this bond now. Now even now I work with Communiverse. So he's very much supportive all the time, and he knows that I'm going to work and all of that, and he doesn't require my help that much. So it as Deepa said, it depends on the families, and it also depends on the child's
profile.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So as you can see, it's a spectrum, and every, there is no right or wrong. It's a very individual specific answer. And I think, Smriti, there are some people who are asking how they can get in touch with us. Would you like to read out our number?
Yeah, I've put it in the chat.
Yeah, but everybody may not see the chat. So just read it out once. And
Mobile number for contacting us is 9870 30 2499.
Yeah, just repeat that once more, little slowly.
9870 30 2499.
Yeah, thanks. So we'll just take two more questions and then we'll wind up. I know there are many questions, but maybe another day. But yeah, Smriti, one more question.
How do we manage behavioral challenges?
Who wants to take that? Any of the panelists, do you want to take that? Priya, Seema?
Basically, if child is anxious, the best thing is कि आप anxious नहीं हो. Normally दोनों ही anxious हो जाते हैं and then scene creates. So like Priya said, we have to be calm. समझना चाहिए. और कभी कभी समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, we know कि वो fixation के कारण they are doing this. Then also जब भी वो anxiety में है तब कुछ ना बोले, उससे कुछ फायदा नहीं है. उनको काम होने दे. जैसे with Nehal, diary worked and still it works. I gave her a small diary when she was young, and I told her to write something, whatever you want to write, something good, something bad. And with time, it has become a diary of regrets. Okay. Now she writes only things which she does, what she did, which was wrong, which she should not have done, and one full page she will write. If she needs to prepare herself mentally, कि कुछ program change हो रहा है, so she will write one full page. कि this is not possible, this is possible. Is basically more. It's not for us. It is to more for her to calm herself down. It helps. So.
Yeah.
For other kids, there can be some other tool.
Yeah, I think the common thing would be understanding that most individuals with autism like a structured routine. That is one thing. So I'm not saying all, but most. And so having visuals in the younger ages where you talk to them about what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, if it's a noisy place, how they can take a break, recognizing their sensory requirements, recognizing where they need support. So approaching it from that fashion and where they are getting communication frustration, how to support that. So recognizing and remembering that the behavioral challenge is actually a cry for help. There is something that the child needs, which we need to understand and support. When we do that, so when we change the thought and don't look on it as a problem, but as an opportunity to understand our child better, I think the the outcome will be very different. So we take a last question and then we'll wind up. Yes, Smriti.
Questions regarding if we have tried any diet with our kids, or what do we think about gluten-free diet?
That's not a question that I am qualified to answer, so I will not answer that question as a professional. Seema wants to say something.
I tried everything, nothing worked. Nothing worked. I tried high vitamin therapy. I tried gluten free. I tried soya milk. I tried puja. I tried all that jadoo tona. I tried homeopathic. I tried everything. Nothing works.
I tend to agree. I tend to agree, and I think we end up denying our children of many things when we put them through all kinds of experiments. But yes. So, Kajal, if you can just switch on your screen, and Smriti, if you can, we can just have a screenshot with all of us. It will be a nice memory for us.
Request everyone to turn on their cameras, please.
Yeah, let's just do ask Smriti once. Just
Smriti.
Kajal is hi Nehal. Kajal is not pinned.
I can't see Kajal.
I'm right here, Deepa.
There. Oh, I can't pin you. So okay, so ye ऐसे ही ले लो, Smriti. I think we'll have to do without you because I can't figure out how to get you in. Wait, now Kajal is gone.
No, I'm right here. I'm right here.
Yeah, but I can't see you. Okay, just let's not waste time. Just click, Smriti.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, okay. So with that, we come to an end. I thank everybody who logged in, and we had, I think it was a very enlightening discussion for me. I learned a lot from the three panelists who kindly consented to be part of this, took so much of their valuable time and participated. I hope the participants will go back with some learnings that would help them in their journey. And thank you very much, and good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you,
Thank you,
Vijal,
ma'am.
and yeah, Kalpesh, I see you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. I'm signing off now. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Oh, I have to stop.